Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
To keep this on time, I'm going to start now, even though there's people milling in the hallway. I did not have an introduction for this, so I stole one out of this book. So I'm going to read it to you, but you got to pretend it's mine, okay? Investing in real estate has always been and always will be one of the best methods for making money and accumulating wealth. Your largest financial asset is probably your home. Who's a homeowner in here? The homeowners, keep your hands up. Who's a homeowner? Who's got their largest amount of your financial net worth in your home right now? 80% of those. Okay. You may know someone who bought a home and sold it a few years later for a substantial profit. That's like us. Or perhaps your parents or grandparents paid 35 grand for their home. I've changed some of these numbers to fit in with this group. And is worth probably $500,000 or more now. You guys know those people?
Yes.
You guys know those people, right? Real estate appreciates because its quantity is limited, and it's possible to buy real estate at a substantial discount, which is what we do, right? Is it possible to buy a home valued at $300,000 for $250,000?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible to buy a home for $300,000 at $250,000? Yes. Okay. Unlike a stock, which is an investment that has to be bought at market price, right? Okay. Simply speaking, there's two things that you invest, which is your time and your money. Right? What is great about real estate is sometimes you can do it without money. So that's the exciting part. Right, David?
That's right.
Okay, real estate investing does take time, though. It takes time to learn. It takes time to learn how to find an undervalued property. And it takes time to prepare it for resale at full value. So, under that, it also takes time to identify good rental properties, but the rewards are great. As we're going to give you a couple examples. So, when you do buy a house valued at $300,000 for $250,000, you see an immediate net worth increase to your net worth of $50,000, right? Can you do that with anything else? I haven't figured it out yet. Okay, the gain is immediate. If you're able to turn around and sell it, you can even get it right now, right? So we're going to go through a couple examples of some of the stuff we did. I have to go back probably 5 years. Jerry was calling on an ad that was selling 3 units for $135,000, renting at $450 a unit, fully occupied. Who would buy that deal? Got that? $135,000. It was in Barstow. Who would still buy it? So me and Jerry went up there. We drove up to Barstow. I'll give you the street. I think it's Woodham. It should be in that book. It might be in that book. So we went to look at this property, these 3 units for $135,000, and we ended up buying that for $115,000. 3 units renting at $450. But here's the funny part. As we're there looking at the property, next door has a for sale by owner sign on it. So we go, wow, this is interesting. So we get the phone number. We're going to buy 1. We might as well buy 2. So we call the for sale by owner. We call the for sale by owner up, and the property is for sale for $265,000. Who would buy that?
What's the income?
Very good. It's 11 units.
Oh.
$265,000.
That was Woodham.
That was what? That was Woodham.
That was Woodham.
What's the cap?
You know what? I just vexed the whole story apart. I'm sorry. The first property was for sale like $90,000, right? The second house was for sale. The 11 units was for sale for $135,000, right? The 11 units was for sale for $135,000. So Jerry was working on the first one at about $90,000. I'm going to tell the story about the second one. I'm working on the second one, 11 units, renting for roughly, here it is, $135,000. We buy it for $115,000. The rent is 300 times 11. Who would buy this?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good, right?
Yes.
Now, this is what happened. The seller owns it free and clear. So what do you do from there? Because you guys ever tried to finance 11 units? Has anyone tried to finance 11 units? Has anyone ever tried to finance anything over 5 units? I know
Yeah.
It's a little more challenging, right?
Yes.
So the seller owed 0. So I negotiated this with a loan amount of $75,000. Tell me if that adds up.
Yeah.
Okay. Regina will know if these are right or not, but they're pretty close. So here's the interesting part. So we're sitting there, and then she says, you know, of course, interest rates were probably close to what they are now. They were still going down. They might have been more than they are now on its way down. So I asked her to finance $75,000 at 5% interest. Now, who would do that? Okay. So then here's what she says to me. This is why you have to be fast at what you do. We're talking to the husband and wife across the table, a little teeny table, the size of a little school table, in one of the units. This is a few weeks after. And she says, at this payment, which is roughly $402 a month, okay? Pretty good, right? $3,300. And I think there was 1 or 2 vacant. The husband, I pick up that the husband says to the wife, well, or they say to us, you'll send that quarterly or what? What does that mean?
The monthly payment.
So I'm sitting right here, Jerry's sitting next to me, says, you're going to send it quarterly or what? I said, we could, why would you say that? I want to know what that meant, right? She says, well, at $402 a month, we have to go to the bank every month, right? And I said, yeah, we could do that quarterly. And then this light was on my head. And Jerry's sitting there, and I'm thinking, don't say anything because I'm going one way with this. So here's what I offer her. I said, yeah, that is a pain in the butt. I said, what if I pay you $1,000 per month for 75 months? What do you get here? They look at each other, don't say a word, and she goes, I guess that'd be easier. That's a true story. Then the wife says, what about the interest? I said, there's no interest. It's almost no interest. We're going to pay you off in 75 months and not 20 years. I think it was 20 years. 30 years. 30 years? I don't know if I figured it out at 20. It was 30 years. Not 30 years, but 75 months. And they looked at each other because this problem, they live half an hour south of Barstow, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. So they said, okay, so we put this deal together. So, who would do this deal? Now, let me tell you what happened after this deal that gets even better. Okay. 2 years later, we decided to sell the property. What did we sell it for? I forget.
63.
I think it was 363. I think we sold it for, $363,000 about. Okay? But how we did that was we had the buyer who was coming out of the 1031 exchange give us about $95,000, about $100,000 down. And we carried a note for $269,000. That sound right, Regina?
Mm-hmm.
Payable at $17.89 a month. You guys following that?
Mm-hmm.
So what did we just do again?
Cash flow.
Yeah. We got all of our money out, which was this $40,000, and then some. Right? We were getting laundry income in the meantime. We were getting, you know, not a lot of cash flow. It sounds like a lot, 1,000 on 33, but we were putting a little bit of money into the property. There was cash flow. It wasn't $2,300 a month. It was probably $800 or $1,000 a month. But then we got this, and I think this comes out to 20 years.
So long after you pay them off, you've got 1789 coming in?
No, we paid them off from the 100,000. The 100,000 that they put down.
You didn't do any ITD on that one?
No.
You didn't wrap it?
Should have.
Yeah.
But by then, this loan amount was,